The moment Chris Rock learned why you don't mock Keanu Reeves. The spotlight blazes down on Hollywood's biggest charity gala. A-listers fill every seat. And Chris Rock just made the biggest mistake of his career. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. The night started like any other star-studded event. Red carpets, flashing cameras, and enough diamonds to blind a satellite. The annual Children's Hospital Foundation Gala was in full swing at the Beverly Hills Hotel, with Hollywood's elite writing checks with more zeros than a NASA countdown. Then Chris Rock took the stage. The comedian was firing off his usual rapid-fire jokes, the audience eating up every punchline. Celebrities were doubled over laughing. But then his eyes landed on Keanu Reeves, sitting quietly in the third row, just being Keanu. "You know what I love about Hollywood?" Rock announced, his voice cutting through the laughter. "We got actors playing teenagers when they're pushing 60. The crowd chuckled. But Rock wasn't done. "Speaking of which, Keanu, my man," he pointed directly at the Matrix star. "Bro, you're out here playing action heroes, and you're older than my dad's vinyl collection. When you gonna start playing the wise old mentor who dies in the first act?" The audience went silent. Not the good kind of silent, the awkward kind. The kind where you can hear someone's phone buzzing 3 tables away. Keanu just sat there, that trademark half-smile on his face, completely unbothered. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of laughing it off, or staying quiet like most celebrities would, Keanu Reeves did something nobody expected. He stood up, slowly, gracefully, like he was moving through water, every eye in that ballroom locked onto him. The man who usually avoids spotlights was walking straight into one. His footsteps echoed in the dead silence as he made his way to the stage. Chris Rock's confident grin started to falter. You could practically see the comedian's brain spinning. What is he doing? Is he mad? Is this about to get ugly? Keanu stepped onto the stage and asked for the microphone. Chris Rock handed it over, probably wondering if he was about to get schooled by Neo himself. But what came next? Nobody in that room, not the producers, not the celebrities, not even Chris Rock saw this coming. Keanu looked out at the audience, then back at Chris Rock. His voice was calm, steady, like he was sharing a secret with a friend. "You know, Chris, there's this verse that's always stuck with me. Proverbs 17:28. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." The silence stretched like a rubber band about to snap. Then Keanu smiled. Not his usual polite smile, but something warmer, something real. But here's the beautiful thing about getting older in this business. You realize that wisdom isn't about staying quiet when someone takes a shot at you. It's about understanding that hurt people, and choosing grace anyway. Chris Rock's jaw literally dropped. But Keanu wasn't finished. He turned to face the comedian directly. "Chris, I've watched your work for years. You're brilliant. You make people laugh when they need it most. That's a gift, man. But tonight, you're performing for a room full of people who are here to help sick kids, and maybe that's worth remembering." The ballroom was so quiet you could hear hearts beating. Then Keanu did something that broke every rule of Hollywood confrontation. He extended his hand to Chris Rock, not for a handshake, for a hug. "Besides," Keanu said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "if being old means I get to live long enough to see the world become a little kinder, I'll take those gray hairs as a badge of honor." That's when something magical happened. One person started clapping, then another, then another. Within seconds, the entire ballroom erupted in applause. Not polite charity gala clapping, real applause, the kind that makes your hands sting. People were standing, whistling, cheering like they'd just witnessed something extraordinary. Because they had. Chris Rock, still processing what just happened, pulled Keanu into that hug. The microphone picked up what he whispered. "Man, I'm sorry, that was beautiful. But here's the part that really went viral." As the applause died down, Keanu did one more thing that nobody expected. He looked out at the audience and said, "You know what? Chris was right about one thing. I am getting older. Which means I've had more time to learn that the best response to mockery isn't anger, it's action." He pulled out his phone, opened his banking app right there on stage, and made a donation to the Children's Hospital Foundation. Live, in front of everyone. The amount? Let's just say it had enough zeros to make the event organizers weep with joy. "Chris," Keanu said, handing the microphone back, "thanks for reminding me why we're all here tonight. It's not about who's older or younger, who's funnier or cooler. It's about using whatever platform we have, comedy, action movies, whatever, to make things better." The standing ovation that followed lasted 7 minutes. 7 minutes. The video clips started hitting social media before Keanu even left the stage. Keanu wisdom was trending worldwide within hours. Chris Rock's original joke was completely forgotten, buried under an avalanche of respect for how Keanu had handled the situation. But wait, there's more. The next morning, Chris Rock posted something on Instagram that nobody saw coming. A picture of him and Keanu backstage after the event, both laughing like old friends. The caption? "Sometimes you meet someone who shows you what grace looks like. Thanks for the lesson at Keanu Reeves, and thanks for making me want to be better." The response was instant and overwhelming. Comments poured in from celebrities and regular people alike. Everyone was talking about how Keanu had turned a moment of disrespect into a masterclass in human dignity. Late-night talk shows replayed the clip. News outlets called it the most graceful comeback in Hollywood history. But here's what really mattered. That spontaneous donation Keanu made, it inspired others in the room to open their wallets too. By the end of the night, the charity had raised 3 times their target amount. Sick kids were going to get treatment because one man chose kindness over comebacks. And Chris Rock? He became one of Keanu's biggest champions, telling anyone who'd listen about the night he learned the difference between being clever and being wise. The video of that moment? It's been viewed over 200 million times. People watch it when they're having bad days, when someone's being cruel online, when they need a reminder that there's still goodness in the world. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do when someone tries to tear you down isn't to fight back. Sometimes it's to lift them up instead. And that, my friends, is why Keanu Reeves isn't just an action hero on screen. He's a real-life legend who proved that true strength isn't about throwing the perfect punch. It's about choosing the perfect words. What would you have done in Keanu's shoes? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible true stories that will restore your faith in humanity.